So let's talk about how to break free from being stuck from a record of your past and be actively focused on your now and in your future. There is a technique called revisioning. Revisioning is the most powerful technique that we've learned from Neville Goddard that we can apply to break free from replaying that record of our past. Think about it. Your brain is a predicting machine. It wants to predict your future. It wants the known, the familiar, the comfortable. So what it does is it says, hey, what do we know? And what we know is our past. That's what's familiar to us. And so it takes our past and it replays into our future. It tries to make us feel uncomfortable or feel stuck. It wants us to feel a certain way so that we don't break free from the past to create a new future. It basically wants us to live in Groundhog Day. It wants us to replay that past. Why? Because it just wants to keep us alive. That is its main goal, just to keep us alive. That's it. That's simple. So what do we do to fight against this? And what do we do to break that cycle of replaying the past? We revision it. We reimagine our past. So what does that mean? Now, this is a concept that you have to trust and you have to pay attention to because it's a little bit difficult to grasp at first. But once you get it, you get it. Now, we cannot change what happened, okay? But what we can do in our mind, especially when something happens in our current day life, and this is a great technique to not so much replay something that maybe happened way, way back to you, which you can do, but start by replaying things that happen each and every day that don't suit your needs. So, for example, let's say today something doesn't go as well as you had planned. It didn't go the way you had imagined. Well, there's a good chance that it went the way it did because there was some form of record of the past playing. Now, what you want to do is before you go to sleep, when you're in that very relaxed state, you want to replay not what happened, but how you would have liked it to go as if it is going that way in real time right now. That's revisioning, that's reimagining. And so what happens is when you go to sleep, instead of your brain being programmed that this is our life experience, this is the emotion attached to it, and this is now going to become our past and therefore our predictable future, you instead kind of break that cycle and say, all right, yeah, that already happened, but I'm going to remember before I go to sleep that this is what I had wished had happened. And then that becomes ingrained in the brain and kind of breaks that cycle, almost like the speed of that spinning wheel kind of slows it down, or maybe even adds another wheel, however you want to imagine it, where you have this opportunity now to put into your memory a much better outcome. And so it kind of desensitizes what did happen and starts to replace it, sensitize it more towards a future that you would like to happen. Now, this concept is not easy to get. You're not changing your past. It is what it is, but you're focusing your attention and your awareness and your energy on what you would like to happen in the future. Now, think about it. If you're someone who's in a relationship and things always go wrong and they always end up going the same way, why? Because it's a record of the past, okay? You keep replaying the past. Now, if you could go back and reimagine what could have been differently or what could have gone differently, then what starts to happen is you start that process of breaking free from being stuck from your past and start saying to yourself, wow, I could have done this. Or I imagine that if I had done this, things would have worked out. Or this might be a better way. And then what happens is the next time you find yourself in that situation where you're in a relationship, instead of playing the record of the past, which seems to be continuously being played, now all of a sudden you revisioned it, you reimagined it, and now your brain might choose to actively replay that role. And then that role, the reimagined, the revisioned role, is now going to break you free from the chains of your past. Difficult concept. I'm not saying this is easy. Do your research, spend some time on this. Several other people have talked about it. Maybe they'll share it in a way that makes more sense to you. This is challenging, but if you get into the habit of reimagining little things, the small things, like let's say you drop a glass and it breaks, you could start with something simple like that and just reimagine that it didn't happen. And so that's the way to kind of desensitize yourself, or at least take one baby step rather into the process of revisioning and reimagining. Don't forget, the reason we're doing this is your brain has a desire. Your deepest part of your mind has the desire to find comfort and predictability in replaying your past. So all we're trying to do is just change how we view the past a little bit so that we don't replay it into our future. My name is Dr. Jay Kavanaugh of thevibemindset.com. If you have any questions, let us know. We'd love to hear them. And we've got 2 other videos up here. If you'd like to check them out, you might enjoy them. I think you will. Thank you so much for your time. I really greatly appreciate it.